It was an offseason that we will all remember. And in the final season of the Pac-12 as we know it, comes season 3 of the It Factory. It will be full of players that are on preseason watch lists, will be on future NFL draft lists. As always, we will take the helmet off of the top players on the West Coast and tap into who they are and why they stand out. I'm Yogi Roth, and welcome back to the It Factory. Welcome back, or welcome to the It Factory. I'm your host, Yogi Roth, and if you follow this show at all, you know that I love the position of wide receiver. Having played the position of wide receiver, and I am very proudly, I've been beat out by one of the best receivers in the world back when I was in college. So today, we had to bring on one of the best receivers, I think, in all of college football, and also a guy that just lights up every room. Since the moment I met him when he was a true freshman to now, I can remember seeing him at summer camps and saying hi to him when he was just a 15, 16-year-old. Yes, if you've guessed it, it is that man from Arizona, Tetairoa McMillan, sophomore wide receiver. T-Mac is how you go by, man. T-Mac, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rogi. Appreciate you for having me. Hey, hold on. I heard your little intro. Who beat you out?
Larry Fitzgerald beat me out.
Oh, yeah, see? Hey, you got lucky.
I know. So this is a fun fact for you because I think you have a chance to. I'm a Blitnikoff voter, and I think that you should be among those who get invited among the final 3 wide receivers in the country throughout your career, whether it's this year or next year. You're playing it at a ridiculous level where we sit right now. So I'm a huge fan of you and of that award. With that said, my first 2 years in college, my roommate was a guy named Antonio Bryant, who won the Blitnikoff award, and they went on to play in the NFL for a while. And then it was like my time to shine. Here we go, year 3. And I lasted as a starter for about 4 or 5 days. And then Larry Fitzgerald came in, who happened to also win the Blitnikoff. So I've been around that award a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say, you've been around some dudes.
I know. So I feel for the fifth receiver right now at Arizona who's like not getting a lot of playing time because of the dudes like you on that roster. But I lived that when I was at Pitt. Larry just got his jersey inducted in the Hall of Fame a couple weeks ago at Pitt. He's a first ballot NFL Hall of Famer as well.
Yeah, no doubt.
So let's actually start there. Like you remind me a lot of him. I'll tell you why in a second. But have you watched him throughout your career as a wide receiver? And if so, are there attributes that you've leaned into?
No, not really. Obviously, I think I saw this one video. I think it was like the sports science video. You know how Larry went to the catching the ball upside down and stuff like that. But that's pretty much the only video I've seen of him. I wouldn't say that I modeled my game after him or anything, or I grew up watching him. But obviously, I know the name. I know that he got more tackles and drop balls. Like, that's ridiculous on its own. But yeah, I wouldn't say I know too much about him.
Yeah, that's all good. Well, I'll be able to fill you in anytime you want. Or your offensive coordinator, Brendan Carroll, he also played at Pitt when Larry came in there as well. With that said, what he was so unique at, to me, was sighting the ball. Meaning when the ball came out of the quarterback's hand, he could tell where it was going to land, and then he could manipulate the DB, slow down, speed up, and then make a one-handed grab look easy. Things that you've done as well. And he would often attribute that to playing baseball and playing other sports because he could see the ball coming off the bat and have to sight it like a center fielder. For you, you sight the ball as well as anybody in America. Where do you think that comes from?
Shoot, I'm not too sure. Obviously, I grew up playing baseball. I grew up playing all types of sports, whether it's basketball, volleyball, football. I mean, one year in soccer. So I think just all the abilities that I've been able to enhance playing different sports, I think that definitely helped me. And obviously, God has blessed me with amazing ball, hand-eye coordination. So obviously, all the glory goes to him for sure.
Amen. Was there a point or a moment where you realized, like, I'm pretty good at catching this weirdly shaped ball?
Yeah, I would probably say 8th grade. That was for sure. Obviously, football was just kind of a do it for fun kind of thing. I never really took it serious. But in 8th grade, I was like, maybe I could actually do this.
For you, like, I don't know if you have like weird elements with your relationship with football, but for me, like I slept with the ball from like 13 to 22, which is an indictment on who I am and the lack of relationships I had in my life. But I liked it because I feel like I got to know it. I got to know the creases of it, the curvature of it, the smell of it. I throw it up at night in the dark with my eyes closed and catch it just to get to know it on a different level. For you, like once you knew that you were pretty good at it, how did you take it to another level and continue that relationship with this sport and that ball?
Honestly, as soon as I knew I could do it, it became more fun to me. Just like to me, I don't really try to do too much with with football. Whenever football happens, I just play football. Like growing up, or like as soon as I knew I could do it, I never really practiced outside. Like playing football, I kind of just when football is off. Like, and whenever I came back to football, I played football. So, like I said, like I really didn't do too much with football too much.
Yeah, I love that about you because there's so many, and I've got two young boys, right? Like there was a lot of parents that are like, God, you got to throw your kids into personal coaching and personal training and all these things. And I'm like, hey, let's just see if they fall in love with it. So for you, you played everything as you referenced. Paint a picture for your childhood, if you will.
Oh, so I mean, so my first sport was baseball. I started at 5 years old. Surprisingly enough, I tell everybody this, but they don't really believe me. But and you can ask my family the same thing. I was better at baseball than I was at football. But so yeah, I started playing baseball at 5. I probably went up to, I played travel ball, all types of things. I always played up. I stopped at 12 years old. I think I picked up a football at around the same age, like 10 to 12. Obviously before that, I played basketball at Boys and Girls Club at like 8 years old. And then shoot, as soon as I picked up a football, it was just, like I said, I wasn't really I was just doing it for fun. I didn't know what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. I always thought I was gonna be an MLB player my whole life, and then I kind of just dropped the baseball, and just picked up something different, something that I wasn't used to. Football was new to me, and then obviously I didn't take it serious. But as soon as I got to 8th grade, 14U, obviously I joined a team called the OC Buckeyes, and shoot, from there I just knew that, you know, it was a national stage that we played on, and obviously I was a decent player, if you can say. But as soon as I knew that football was my thing, or I could do this football thing, I just started playing it, dedicated my whole life to it, and then shoot, now I'm here.
Yeah, now you're here. I want to just follow up on one thing you said growing up. You're playing a little bit of everything.
Yep.
Did you ever feel any pressure to be great at anything, or do you think your environment allowed you just to go play and seek the joy and the fun wherever you leaned?
Yeah, nah, for sure, pressure was definitely not there. Like I said, just growing up, I was playing just to, you know, mess around, just have something to do, stay away from trouble, stuff like that. So, like, yeah, no pressure at all. Even now, I feel like I don't have pressure at all.
I love that. I think it's a beautiful soundbite for parents out there and for athletes out there. So do you feel there's a correlation from playing for fun, playing free, playing for joy as a child to how you play now? Because I watch you now and it's like you're smiling through your entire helmet, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got to. I mean, I live by that. I gotta have fun whatever I do. Like it's just, you know, the most important thing is just having fun, just acting like you're a little kid out there. Like nothing in the world matters but your joy for the game or enjoying what you do. So yeah, I mean, I always try to keep a smile on my face, lighting up the room like you said, in every room I walk into. But I feel like as soon as I lose love for the game, then I gotta stop playing.
Yeah, write that one down. That you nailed it. You have this really cool website that I was checking out earlier. Negative attitudes lose opportunities is a phrase that you seem to often be saying, whether you're selling merchandise from it. But and I love that. The merchandise is dope. I got to get some. But I want to dive into the phrase negative attitudes lose opportunities. Where did that come from, and what does that mean to you?
So actually, I got it on my shirt right now. So this is my merch. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you watched me and Noah's podcast, and so my nickname is Nalo His Escolo. So I knew that I wanted to make a brand, and I knew Nalo was gonna be the name, and I just wanted it to have like a acronym. Like I wanted people to just, not only my fans wear it, but anybody to wear it, so it could speak to anybody. So I told my agent, I was like, man, I want to come up with an acronym for this. So we was at, surprisingly enough, me, my agent, and his assistant, we was eating at Mr. On's, and we was sitting there waiting for the food, and we were like we were coming up with words for the N, for the A, for the L to the O, and we was just like, man, what is it? And so I think my agent was like, negative. And then he was like, negative attitudes. And I was like, negative attitudes lose opportunities. And we were like, that's the one. So, it was kind of just happened. Obviously, I knew that I wanted the acronym behind NALO. But like I said, just to speak to the people, for people to wear, not just my fans, but yeah, it kind of just happened.
So as a wideout, we always feel like we're open all the time.
Yeah.
But I also admire how you play down the field, blocking, helping out your teammates, whatever it may be. You're an incredible teammate. How does it apply to the position though? Right, you get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting the rock at times in games, or maybe the game isn't flowing as hoped you and the offense would, do you tap into that? Is that part of like your repertoire, or is that just the T-shirt?
I would say it's part of the T-shirt, but like I just said, just having fun with the game. I mean, you can't. Usually, when people play negative, they don't really have a good game, or things don't really go their way. But just that acronym, it's just negative attitudes lose opportunities. It's just like if you're not positive, and if you thinking down on something, obviously the opportunity won't come your way, and you get to lose the opportunities. I mean, God has blessed me with so much opportunities that I can't have a negative attitude about things.
Yeah, great perspective, man. So let's talk about an opportunity. You and a couple of your teammates came from Orange County or Juice County and ended up coming out to Tucson. When you did that, you were coming to a team that had struggled for a long time. What about this team and Jed Fish and this program led you and some of your classmates to say, okay, let's go be the cornerstone? Because now you can go around any of those three other players that you came with from Servite High School. You all have a major role within this program's development and really emergence as a program that can go out and is expected to win games now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that the whole 1-11 record before I came here, it really meant nothing to me. Obviously in college football, anybody can lose at any given day. But I would just say, all of us trusted Coach Fish and his philosophy and the coaching staff. And for me, I would just say just the loyalty that they had with me. Even though I was committed to Oregon, they still reached out, see how I was doing. And plus, they showed good love. Obviously, they showed love to three of my boys that was already committed here. So just a friendship that we built, and the loyalty that the whole coaching staff and Coach Fish has given me, and just the future they have for me. I trusted in it, and shoot, now we're here.
Trust is a word that can be thrown around a lot, and trust can be lost, and that can happen relatively quickly, I think, sometimes in college football. How have you guys actually built it? Because I've known Jed since 2009. We interviewed with the Seahawks the same day when he ended up continually coaching. Ended up getting into television. But I knew he had something special to him from that initial dinner, and we've remained close ever since. For you, you got there as a freshman, leaning on that trust that you referenced in recruiting, but then I'm curious how it's evolved to where we sit now in 2023.
I mean, obviously, as a high school player getting recruited, you don't really get to know the coaches too much. Obviously, some coaches, they'll show you what you want to hear, tell you what you want to hear. But I feel like Coach Fish and KC, and as well as the rest of the coaching staff, I feel like they didn't do that to me. Obviously, they told me what I wanted to hear, but as soon as I came here, it became true. I was gonna be an important part of this team, and then as soon as I got here, they welcomed me in as a family. They show hospitality to me. Give them a call whenever I want. They'll pick up. Shout out to Queen Fish and the family, but they show me love. They they take care of my family as well. So I think that's an important part for me. Just them opening up their arms to me and just being my second family is just pretty important to me. So I think our trust has definitely grown just because of that fact alone.
Amber Fish, the queen fish. I love that. Shout out to Amber. She's incredible. I want you to take me a little bit deeper into that.
Uh-huh.
When you look at this team now, like you're there every day. Our TV crew flies in a couple weekends a year, have phone calls with coaches, get to do shows like this, but we're not there every day.
Yeah.
What has been going on in the shadows? What's been going on when the lights and the cameras aren't around?
I mean, when football happens, it's football. But the coaches, obviously, they want us to get to the next level. They see a bright future in all of us. But they're also family, and they also care about us as sons, as fathers, and stuff like that. So I think that's super important for sure. And as with the teammates, I feel like this team. Obviously, I wasn't sure where I was at before, but ever since the new coaches came, the culture changed, and I feel like you're able to play for your teammates now. You want to play for the guy next to you. And like I said, I'm not sure what it was before, but it's just like this type of feeling that I had at Servite too. With obviously with my boys, with Kolo, Nuku, and Ken, just being able to play for them, just having something else to play for instead of yourself. But I think, obviously, I think this team is headed for great things, headed in great directions, and I can't wait to see what we can do.
Yeah, well, you're at the cornerstone of all that. I can remember being there your first year, and we stood outside of the fourth quarter room, which is an amazing room. If people don't know what it is, just YouTube Arizona fourth quarter and a nice tour with T-Mac and Coach Fish will all pop up. But with that, there's a sign there that says it's personal. Do you remember that moment where you stood in front of that? Because I asked you, I said, hey, you were one of the biggest recruits in the history of the school. When you look at this sign, I'm curious what you say or what you think. Yeah. You said, it is personal to me to be given that lofty expectation, but also to deliver. I'm curious now, like when you think of that phrase, it's personal, and it being embedded in you for over 2 years, where do you net out?
Shoot, I think it's personal. Obviously, to the team and to everybody else, is, Coach Fish emphasizes it's personal to win. But for me, it's personal because just God has blessed me with so much gifts and talents and opportunity for me not to be successful. So for me, I think that's where that phrase hits home for me for sure. I'm not sure what I said before, but for right now, I think that's what comes to mind right now when I hear it's personal.
Yeah, what was a version of that? You can tell you take what you're doing in the craft and the school that you're at with a level of seriousness that I think is admirable. With that said, I want to talk about the receiver position for a minute here. You make these one-handed grabs look so easy. In fact, we did a little research on you. Do you know that every catch that has been reviewed that you've made, when the officials say, we got to check it out, we got to see if it's really a catch, has been deemed a catch. They've never gone the other way on it. So for you, is it as easy as it looks? Do they ever surprise you when you come down with one of those big mitts?
Honestly, no. I'm not really surprised when I catch it like that. And I think Coach Fish and the whole staff and my teammates are not surprised either when that happens. So I heard Coach Fish say on one of the interviews that like I do it all the time. I mean, you'll see me and Kolo practicing it pre-game, post-practice. What's funny is I actually started practicing it probably fall camp. That's probably the first time I actually practiced one-hand catches. But I guess I just try to make a play whenever I can. I'm deemed to be this electrifying player, so whatever I can do for the fans and for the team to make the crowd go crazy, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, well, fun fact for you with Larry Fitz, we used to practice one-handed catches out of the jug every single day, and you'd get about between me and the camera, which is about 3 feet away from the jug, just coming at you, trying to grab it with one hand. With that said, what do you think that when you look at the craft, what makes a receiver an elite receiver?
I think not just a receiver, just any player in general, just his mentality, his willingness to compete, his competitive edge. He like someone that always wants to win. Like me personally, I'm a competitor. I like to win. You know, sometimes I had this bad habit of just playing down to my competition, but as soon as, you know, the game's on the line or pressure's on, you know, I think that's where I excel the most. Yeah, I just say that their competitive edge is what makes a receiver good. Obviously, you know, you can be good at releases or top of the route or catching the ball, but just being able to have that tenacity about you, that dog, as you would say, but something that, you know, puts you over the edge is what makes a good receiver.
You get to not only be among a talented receiving core, but I think this year more than any, I've been in this league for 20 years now, the Pac-12, previously the Pac-10, this has the most talented group of receivers as a league as I've ever seen. So for you, I'm curious, like as a wideout, when you're in a game and you look across the other sideline and you see another group of talented wideouts or a singular talented wideout, does that do anything to you in a game?
No, not really. I just try to perform at my best, not for anybody else, just for me. But like you said, just speak on the receiving crew, just in the Pac-12. I mean, we got some, we definitely do got some top guys in the league right now. But no, I wouldn't say that does nothing for me. Obviously, you know, I wish them nothing but the best. Obviously, you know, they have bright futures. They'll be able to play at the next level. But I just try to play at my best and just give people a show.
I say that because as a wideout, like we're always watching other wideouts.
Yeah.
Film. A lot of times it's NFL guys.
Uh-huh.
But the league's so loaded. I'm curious. You ever watching, like, even if it's crossover tape and prepping for a game, like, let me just check out, what did Roma Dunze do right there, or what did so and so, you know, Troy Franklin do right there? Does it ever pop for you in game prep?
No, never. I've never been a guy to. I know it sounds crazy, but I've never been a guy to watch somebody else's film or try to pick up something from somebody else. I would say the only time I picked up something from somebody else is in practice. You know, we had some good receivers on our team, but I would never go out of my way to watch somebody else play. But in practice, you know, we got Jacob, we got Montana. Last year with Dorian, you know, just watching them in person, just seeing what they do in practice, seeing what they're able to do, just their acceleration, whether it's their agility, you know, whether it's Dorian's hand-eye coordination. Because in my opinion, you know, obviously, you know, Dorian left, but Dorian has some of the craziest catches I've ever seen too. You know, his hand-eye coordination is ridiculous as well. So just being able to see all them in practice, see them in person, see what they do, it's pretty much the only time I try to pick up from any other receivers.
It's cool, man. All right, I call this my final five. Last five questions, which will get you out of here. First reaction to each question, okay? Question number one, Tetairoa McMillan, is, what is the best advice you've ever received?
Oh, shoot. Best advice I've ever received. Everything will be okay.
Worst advice you've ever received is what?
Damn, this the question? This is not what I was expecting. Worst advice I've ever received. Let me see.
We've had some hilarious ones. Some have been serious.
I think yeah, see, I don't even know.
Clark Phillips told us, he said, somebody told me to get a credit card, and that was the worst advice I ever got.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That was a good one.
That's a good one.
All right, number three, you get a bigger thrill out of a one-handed grab or a 360 windmill? Because I know you're a hooper as well.
Probably the one-handed grab.
Yeah, more fans watching that one.
Yeah, for sure. Whenever I did a 360 windmill, we at the wreck, so there's only like two people in there.
Yeah, it's not a red out sellout.
Yeah.
Okay, number four, the title of this show is The It Factory. And I believe that everybody has an it factor. Sometimes in sports, it's a very overused or misunderstood phrase. But when you see it, you know it. He's got that it factor. You have that, T-Mac. I'm curious how you would describe your own it factor.
Just like I said about being a good receiver, I would just say the competitive edge. You know, when the lights shine bright, who's gonna shine the brightest?
And then finally, in big games, and when you look at the totality of your life, your career, I'm curious how you would finish this sentence. The sentence is, it all comes down to what? When you look at life, what do you think that is?
Me. It all comes down to me and what I want to do and what I'm willing to give at that moment. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
There it is. We finally got another receiver on this show. It's been full of so many quarterbacks. We needed some of those guys that actually make some plays. There it is, one of the best receivers, I think, in the entire country, but also a guy who's got tremendous perspective on life and playing with joy and playing free and playing fun, and probably the best athlete on every field this Saturday or any Saturday in college football. So there it is, Tetairoa McMillan. I'm Yogi Roth. You know where to find us, everywhere you listen or watch your podcast. We are there. Stay safe. Peace.